Welcome folks, this is Wear and Tear, yet another outdoor and gear review channel. Today I want to show you the Wurkkos TS10. This is a little flashlight powered by a 14,500 lithium-ion battery. You cannot power it with AA batteries, which is a little bit of a disadvantage. I would have liked to see that as a backup, but it is a very high-tech, very powerful flashlight that definitely needs a 14,500 cell to really show what it can do. Anyways, it's not possible to power something like that with AA batteries. It comes with 3 blue auxiliary LEDs. Now there's also a version with orange and red LEDs. Was not available. I would have preferred red, but I also like blue. And you see this is a multi-emitter setup. And we have 3 high CRI LEDs in there. Yeah, and I have the 4000K version, so pretty warm white light. Now, the light comes with an electronic tail switch. You operate the standard functions and the advanced functions all with one button. And with the Android 2.0, basically software that runs the whole flashlight, and this is the flow chart that details the operation of the flashlight. It looks intimidating, and it is intimidating. The basic mode, like turning on, turning off, ramping up, ramping down, locking out, all of that is pretty easy to memorize and also pretty easy to do. The advanced modes where you can actually set the thermal regulation, do the advanced blinking modes, the sunset mode, and so this takes quite a while. I didn't memorize that. I would need to operate it from the flowchart, and even then it's, for me personally, a challenge to get the right clicks in the right time and the right holds and whatever. So this is a little bit of science, flashlight science in itself. But it just shows what this light can do. You can program the auxiliary LEDs. For example, they can blink, they can be a bit brighter than right here. You can completely turn them off. You have special modes like a lightning storm, candle mode, and so on. But that's not really what is interesting to me. I just show you what this light can do from a mere user perspective. I have used this light in few night shifts and also on my holiday in Greece last week, and I can tell you what it can do and what it can't do. First of all, it is robust. It survived a few falls. It also has a few nicks here and there, but nothing major. Then it is water resistant, which is very important for me. So this is definitely a light that is suitable for hard conditions. What I really like about this light is the ergonomics, because you can hold it just like that. And I realized that I really like the style. Okay, just carrying a light like that, walking around like that, this is very comfortable. And it's not just because of the small format of the light, but also because of this design here. So it caves in a little bit and makes it really comfortable. Now, for a mere AA format light, it's a little bit thick, but that's because it has 2 double tubing system. Because of all the electronic functions, I guess they need some special pathways for the power, for the current to go. I have no clue how that really works, but it's not a simple mechanical tail switch setup. So it's a little bit more complicated than that. So because of that, it is a little bit thicker than a single AA format light than you would expect, but it is really comfortable. As for the run times, of course I could just show you the runtime chart, but yeah, for example, it says on 1400 lumens runtime of 1 hour and 14 minutes. I don't know how they get to such numbers. Maybe if you accumulate times in a weird way, that makes no kind of sense. This light gives a good amount of output for small walks, like for example half an hour, 40-45 minutes. You go up, ramp down. So close up, you go about 1/3 of the power, and sometimes you go a little bit higher, and very rarely you use the turbo mode to look into the distance. If you operate the light like that, it will last you between 40 minutes and an hour before it goes into some kind of ultra low safe backup mode. That was my experience, and that's how it comes across in reality. Sorry, my voice is a little bit coarse. I also caught a virus on my holiday, which is, thank goodness it's not a computer virus. It would suffer much more from that. So anyways, this is the Wurkkos TS10. The advantages of the light is it's clearly designed by flashlight enthusiasts. The Anduril system is awesome. If you really want to play and study with that light, it's yours. It is also absolutely easy to operate. I like the tail switch. I like the electronic tail switch. So the basic functions are all very easy. It was never awkward to operate it, neither on my holiday nor on the night shifts. It always comes on the way I want it. And that's even in more stressful situations where I cannot pay attention to the light. So it's a absolutely 100% balanced user interface. It's super advanced. It has active thermal regulation, so it ramps up and ramps down according to the internal temperature. You can also change temperature settings if you want the light to run the light hotter, brighter for longer. I don't know if you could theoretically damage something if you choose the wrong settings. Probably you can play around with the safeguards and reprogram it a little bit. I won't do that because for me it is fine as it is. It is really, really bright at maximum output. It rivals my very similar Ace Beam light, the Ace Beam E70 Mini, which is based off of 18650 cell. The output on these is very similar. This makes very good light. This makes the best light on a flashlight that I've ever seen. The color rendition is so awesome. It's so wonderful to take pictures with this and to explore nature with this. Of course, this one has a very limited runtime compared to the Ace Beam. I found for my typical night shift usage, it lasts for about a night, at least if I don't have to do research outside or something like that, which this would not be the right light for that because it goes a good distance because it's so bright, but only for a little while. For basically for a few minutes at the most. No, this has much more power. Honestly said, if for me this light kind of replaces this light because they're both multi-emitter lights. And the brightness is not so different. The light quality is even better on this one. Here it's excellent, but here it's better. And they fulfill a similar role or niche. And this is just more practical for EDC. And on my night shifts, I realized I can even put it on my shirt and have a very nice illumination of my workspace. So it's pretty practical. I really like the light, and the price point is like around $30, which is unbelievable for such a high-tech flashlight. The disadvantages, well, the electronic tail switch is good. It's the way, I don't know, it's not as, it feels a little bit squishy. It could be more precise, I think. This one feels more high quality to me. But it's okay. So the tail switch, maybe in future iterations we get a stainless steel tail switch or something like that. This flashlight is not a flashlight, let's say, for the masses, despite its low price point, because the operation, of course, you don't need Anduril for your average Joe. And of course you need an extra battery charger because the 14500 cell is a regular 14,500 cell. It doesn't even have a charging port. There's no charging port anywhere to be found, which is okay, which is not a biggie for me. In the inside we see a spring. Here we don't have a spring. It's built as compact as possible. Not a disadvantage with this small of a light and this small and light of a battery. Speaking of which, this light is way under 100 grams. And yeah, it's an awesome flashlight. If you need a flashlight that gives you excellent light for photos, excellent light to explore little crevices, observe critters, this is just a really great outdoor flashlight. And yeah, you can also bring this flashlight and can bring something like a thrower, more specialized thrower that is more efficient going in the distance. So it's amazingly bright, amazingly well-made light. The Wurkkos TS10. Yeah, I bought it with my own money. This is not a sponsored review, so I'm really glad I got this light. And it will definitely not just stay in my collection, but it will be used until one day it might break or get lost. This was Wear and Tear, over and out.